Hi, grade sixes. Welcome to Math for Today. We're doing IXL. We're on Z. We're doing our 2D shapes. And we're looking today at Z7 and 8. So let's get there. We're going to go back to level H. And we are clicking on Z7 first. Now Z7, classifying quadrilaterals, this is a slightly more difficult activity and it may take you a little bit more time to get through it if you're rushing. So slow down, make sure you are following the instructions, think carefully, use paper and a pencil to figure it out, write down definitions of shapes and what it means to be a parallelogram, a quadrilateral, a square, a rhombus, a rectangle, a trapezoid, all those shapes that will come through this activity. And then the more practice you make, the more it makes sense and you can go faster and faster as you get to the end. So let's start with this one. Classifying quadrilaterals. So you need to choose the word that makes the sentence true. A trapezoid is always, sometimes, or never a quadrilateral. So let's look at the definitions of the following. A quadrilateral, let's write it down. Let me get annotating for you. So a quadrilateral, the definition of a quadrilateral is a four-sided shape. All right, a quad. Quad means four. There's your Greek roots or your Latin roots or wherever it comes from. Quad means four. So what is the definition of a trapezoid? Okay, trapezoid, this is also a four-sided shape. But with a trapezoid, you need to also have one pair of parallel sides. Okay, and we did this a little bit yesterday with our trapezoid. One pair of parallel sides. In a quadrilateral, it is a four-sided shape. Any of the sides, they don't have to be parallel, it just has to be four sides. So let's look back at the question. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral. Will it be anything else? No. Okay, so it's never a quadrilateral is not going to be our answer because, well, we can see based on our definition here that we wrote down, it is a four-sided shape and that's what a quadrilateral is. Is it sometimes a quadrilateral? Well, is trapezoid sometimes going to have four sides and sometimes not? No, it is always going to have four sides and a quadrilateral is a four-sided shape. So a trapezoid is always a quadrilateral. Okay, let's look a little bit. You might want to go back and write down the notes that I'm making while we're going. I'm actually not going to clear what I'm writing down because we might need to add to it through these questions. Well, let's look at this question number 2. Which words describe this shape? Choose all that apply. Okay, is the shape a square? Let's add a few more definitions as we go. What is the definition of a square? Well, a square, it is a four-sided shape. Therefore, a square is always a quadrilateral, right? What else is about a square? A square is also that all sides are equal in length, right? Another thing about a square is that all angles are at 90 degrees, right? They're all right angles, right? So let's look at this shape. Is this shape a square? Well, based on the definition of what a square is, it is a four-sided shape, but not all of the sides are equal. So we cannot be checking off that it is a square. Let's look at what is a kite. A kite, again, four-sided shape. in a kite, you will have two adjacent. You might come across this word most likely. Adjacent means next to each other or joining. In other words, they basically share an angle, right? Two adjacent sides equal. Running out of space for my awesome definitions here. So you've got two, let's say two pairs of adjacent sides are equal in length, okay? And in a kite, you will also have one pair opposite angles equal. Okay, you will see in a kite, the top and the bottom are not equal, but the two side angles will be equal to each other. So that is what a kite is, all right? Is that true of this shape? Well, it is a four-sided shape. It says that the adjacent sides are equal. So that means that this side and this side need to be equal. Is that true? No. So it is not a kite. It's not a square. It's not a kite. Let's look at a rectangle. Let's add some definitions here. See if there's a bit of space over here. A rectangle, four-sided shape. You will also see in a rectangle four right angles. And you will also see in a rectangle that opposite, okay, that's right here, two pairs, opposite sides equal. Okay. Now that is different to a square because those sides are equal and those sides are equal. And in a square, all four are equal. All right, so let's have a look at this. Let's move that out the way a little bit. Okay, so in a rectangle, let's see. It's a four-sided shape, yes. Are there four right angles? Yes. And are two pairs of opposite sides equal? Yes. So we can check off that it is a rectangle. And let's look at a quadrilateral. What's the definition of a quadrilateral? This is a four-sided shape. Is it a four-sided shape? Yes. So we can be sure that it is a square and, I mean, not a square and not a kite. Okay, let's try one more together. Let's see if we can keep all our definitions so that we can keep adding to those. And let's just erase these guys. Okay. So let's have a look at this question. Is a square always a rectangle? Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit tricky and you need to concentrate quite hard. Is a square always a rectangle? Let's look at, we could even draw a picture of a square to help us. That's more or less a square, all the sides are equal, and a rectangle would be more like that, right? Okay, so let's have a look. Does this square answer all the needs in a rectangle, the requirements of a rectangle? So let's have a look. Let's see, is it a four-sided shape? Yes, it's a four-sided shape. A square is a four-sided shape. Are there four right angles in a square? Yes, there are. And here's the tricky part, because these are where it differs. Are there two pairs of opposite sides equal? So let's have a look and let's draw. That side is equal to that side, and that side we're doing 2 because that's how it is on a rectangle, right? Those two are equal, and those two are equal. So is that true for a square? Is the top and the bottom equal? Yes. And is the left and the right equal? Yes. So actually, it satisfies all the needs of a rectangle. So a square is always a rectangle. It's a special rectangle because all four sides are equal. The opposite is not true. Is a rectangle always a square? No. Many times it looks like this one, and seldom does it look like an actual square. But yes, a square is a special rectangle. So is a square always a rectangle? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. I think you should pause to write down these definitions if you don't have them in your notes before you end the video. Make sure that you have everything with you that you need and add to these notes as you go through the exercise and the activity for this classifying quadrilaterals. So this is the more tricky one of the day. The next one is exciting. I really like it. I'm going to delete these in 1 second. So press pause right now if you need to get it down and then keep going. Right. So let's go and have a look at Z8. So this is going back to your coordinate pair, all of those things that you are doing. We are going to be graphing both triangles and quadrilaterals. I think this is a fun activity, but you're going to have to remember your coordinate pairs, all right? Or ordered pairs is another way to say it. So just a little quick reminder, we are always starting with X and then Y, okay? Always remember that that's the order. It will always, 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 always come, okay? And then when you're looking at your graph, we know that we have got Y along this side, up and down. The hanging little tail of the Y hangs. So you know that the Y is the one going up and down, and X is along the bottom. All right. So remembering that the first is always, let me just move this out the way so you can see the screen correctly. Okay. So here we have X is 9. We look for 9 along the bottom. We got the even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8. So the next one will be 9. And we go up to 7, which is between 6 and 8. And we put our little dot there. The next one, I just want to move that up. Okay. The next one, we've got X is 6. So there's 6. And we go all the way up to 10, 6 and 10. And it automatically draws that little line for you. If you make a mistake, you click it again and then you can move it around, all right? So that's how you do it. And then to finish off the triangle, the third point here is 3, X is 3 and Y is 8. So let's go 3 and we go up to 8, 3 and 8. All right, and there it finishes your triangle, which is awesome. Submit. Okay, let's do another one. Graph the triangle with vertices. Vertices, remember, are your points, your places where the corners are, the points. Those are the correct word to use terminology is vertices. That's plural. One vertex, many vertices. Okay, so let's start with X is 3 and Y is 3. So let's go up to that point there. Then we've got X is 7. I'm sure you could do this in any order. I don't think you have to do it in the same order it gives you. So 7 and 8. X is 7, Y is 8. And then we've also got X is 7 and Y is 2. So we go back on this line to get to point where Y is 2. And there we have our second triangle. Okay, another triangle. I think it gets to quadrilaterals a little bit later in this activity. Right, X is 7, Y is 4, so 7 and 4 is there. X is 5, Y is 3, and X is 6, and Y is 0. Remember, when it's 0, it's right on that line. Okay, and submit. Awesome. Okay, I hope that you have fun with this activity, remembering always the most important thing is that it goes X first and then Y. All right, I hope you have a fantastic day, the rest of your day, and we shall see you later.